Here are some poems to help troubled sleepers, those who wake up in the middle of the night for no good reason, sometimes more than once. I'm one of them, a lot of the time anyway. When you can sleep well, you take it for granted, but when you can't, it can be an awful thing. Sleep deprivation, after all, is against the Geneva Convention. It's a torture of a kind, and anything that can help us should be tried. And there are several remedies. There are medicines you can take, there's music you can listen to, and I think that there's poetry as well that can help. I think we should try anything, and there's a lot of quotes. A lot of great poets have written about sleep. I love that sentence from a Dylan Thomas short story it's called The Dress, and it's about a man escaping from pursuers. He's obviously committed some terrible crime, and he's running through the forest, terribly tired, longing to sleep, but he can't. And he says, if sleep came, she would be like a girl. Lie down, she would say, stretching herself beside him. It's a lovely idea, sleep being a girl. I'm going to read a few poems to help anybody who is lying uneasily, staring in the darkness, wondering why they can't get to sleep. Just listening and handing your senses over to a voice can put you in a calm mood. Poetry has this power to change our mood, and calming and healing is one very good benign outcome from listening to poetry. So here we go. The first poem I'm going to read is by Henry Van Dyke. It's called Night Watch. If slumber should forsake thy pillow in the dark, fret not thyself to mark how long thou liest awake. There is a better way. Let go the strife and strain, thine eyes will close again, if thou wilt only pray. Lord, thy peaceful gift restore, give my body sleep once more. While I wait, my soul will rest, like a child upon thy breast. He wrote some beautiful poems, Henry Van Dyke, an American living in California much of the time. Here's another American, a great poet, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. This poem, The Day is Done, is very restful, I think. The day is done and the darkness falls from the wings of night, as a feather is wafted downward from an eagle in his flight. I see the lights of the village gleam through the rain and the mist, and a feeling of sadness comes o'er me that my soul cannot resist. A feeling of sadness and longing that's not akin to pain, and resembles sorrow only as the mist resembles the rain. Come, read to me some poem, some simple and heartfelt lay that shall soothe this restless feeling and banish the thoughts of day. Not from the grand old masters, not from the bards sublime, whose distant footsteps echo through the corridors of time. For like strains of martial music, their mighty thoughts suggest life's endless toil and endeavour, and tonight I long for rest. Read from some humbler poet, whose songs gushed from his heart as showers from the clouds of summer, of tears from the eyelid start, who through long days of labour and nights devoid of ease, still heard in his soul the music of wonderful melodies. Such songs have power to quiet the restless pulse of care, and come like the benediction that follows after prayer. Then read from the treasured volume the poem of thy choice, and lend to the rhyme of the poet the beauty of thy voice. And the night shall be filled with music, and the cares that infest the day shall fold their tents like the Arabs, and to silently steal away. That's a great mood-setting poem. William Shakespeare, the bard, the swan of Avon, of course, spoke about sleep an awful lot in his plays and in his poems too. I'm going to read Sonnet 27, which is about sleep. I think it's one of his best. I love its calm sentiments. Weary with toil, I haste me to my bed, the dear repose for limbs with travel tired. But then begins a journey in my head, to work my mind when body's work's expired. For then my thoughts from far where I abide intend a zealous pilgrimage to thee, and keep my drooping eyelids open wide, looking on darkness which the blind do see, save that my soul's imaginary sight presents thy shadow to my sightless view, which like a jewel hung in ghastly night makes black night beauteous and her old face new. Lo, thus by day my limbs, by night my mind, for thee and for thyself no quiet find. He has such a power to just leave one in a state of quiet contemplation, Shakespeare. I just love all his work. Here's another from Henry van Dyke, Bedtime. Ere thou sleepest gently, lay every troubled thought away. Put off worry and distress, as thou puttest off thy dress. Drop thy burden and thy care in the quiet arms of prayer. Lord, thou knowest how I live, and all I've done amiss forgive. All of good I've tried to do, strengthen, bless, and carry through. All I love in safety keep, while in thee I fall asleep. And here's another, same poet, Henry van Dyke, A New Day. Ere thou risest from thy bed, speak to God whose wings were spread o'er thee in the helpless night. Lo, he wakes thee now with light. Lift thy burden and thy care in the mighty arms of prayer. Lord, the newness of this day calls me to an untried way. Let me gladly take the road. Give me strength to bear my load. Thou my guide and helper be, I will travel through with thee. very profound. D.H. Lawrence, the late Victorian, early 20th century poet, wrote this short poem, Sleep. Sleep is the shadow of death, but not only that. Sleep is a hint of lovely oblivion, when I am gone, completely lapsed and gone, and healed from all this ache of being. He's quite a troubled man, D.H. Lawrence, though he wrote some beautiful poems, beautiful books as well, of course, about human relationships and love. Well, from a very English sort of writer to an American one, Langston Hughes, the African-American poet of the early to mid-20th century. He lived in New York, part of the Harlem Renaissance, wrote some heart-stoppingly beautiful poems, I think. I'm going to read this one called Dreams. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow. He wrote a lot of short poems, Langston Hughes. I love this one too, Lullaby. It's called Lullaby for a Black Mother. My little dark baby, my little earth thing, my little loved one, what shall I sing for your lullaby? Stars, stars, a necklace of stars winding the night, my little black baby, my dark body's baby, what shall I sing for your lullaby? Moon, moon, great diamond moon, kissing the night, oh little dark baby, night dark baby. Stars, stars, moon, night stars, moon, for your sleep song, lullaby. So beautiful, simple and loving. Shakespeare, of course, in his plays, many speeches mentions sleep. Here's one from his wonderful play, Henry IV, Part 2. I think this is the King Richard II, perhaps, or maybe it's Henry himself speaking. O sleep, O gentle sleep, nature's soft nurse, how have I frighted thee, that thou no more wilt weigh my eyelids down and steep my senses in forgetfulness? Why rather, sleep, liest thou in smoky cribs, upon uneasy pallets, stretching thee, and hushed with buzzing night flies to thy slumber, than in the perfumed chambers of the great, under the canopies of costly state, and lulled with sound of sweetest melody. Gosh. The king was so troubled, I think, by his conscience, he couldn't sleep. Another great quote from Shakespeare, of course, uneasy lies the head that wears a crown. Peace of mind is a great benefit in helping us sleep, of course. Peace of mind. If you can go to bed telling yourself, today I did my best, the chances are you're somebody with quite a high degree of peace of mind, and that certainly helps sleep. One of Shakespeare's greatest contemporaries, some people even think greater than Shakespeare himself, though he met an untimely death at the age of 32, I think. stabbed to death in a Deptford pub. Terrible way to go. Christopher Marlowe wrote some beautiful plays, beautiful poems. This is a lovely quote from his play, The Jew of Malta. Then gentle sleep, where'er his body rests, give charge to Morpheus, that he may dream a golden dream. And of course, the sudden wake, come and receive the treasure I have found. People often talk about sleep as lying in the arms of Morpheus, the Greek god of sleep. A very great favourite poet of mine is the South American Pablo Neruda, writing at the beginning of the 20th century. Some of his poems really hit the spot for me. He talks so beautifully about loving relationships, the joy of love, and all sorts of emotions and feelings. This sonnet 81 of his, that's about sleep and rest in quiet love and contentment. So, even though it's in translation, it's so beautifully put. And now you're mine, rest with your dream in my dream. Love and pain and work should all sleep now. The night turns on its invisible wheels, and you are pure beside me as a sleeping amber. No one else, love, will sleep in my dreams. You will go, we will go together over the waters of time. No one else will travel through the shadows with me. Only you, evergreen, ever sun in my moon. Your hands have already opened their delicate fists and let their soft drifting signs drop away. Your eyes closed like two grey wings, and I move after, following the folding water you carry, that carries me away. The night, the world, the winds spin out their destiny. Without you, I am your dream, only that, and that is all. Well, there's another poem, one of my favourites. I remember reading this in my late teens, many years ago. I copied it into my commonplace book, and I've returned to it again and again. It's a delightful poem, I think. It's called Drunk as Drunk. Drunk as drunk on turpentine, from your open kisses, your wet body wedged between my wet body and the strake of our boat that is made of flowers. Feasted we guided, our fingers like tallows, adorned with yellow metal, over the sky's hot rim, the day's last breath in our sails. Pinned by the sun between solstice and equinox, drowsy and tangled together, we drifted for months and woke with the bitter taste of land on our lips, eyelids all sticky, and we longed for time and the sound of a rope lowering a bucket down its well. Then we came by night to the Fortunate Isles and lay like fish under the net of our kisses. Sleep well. I hope this sleep is given to you. I wish you sweet dreams. Sleep well. I'm now going to read two very good poems about sleep and sleeplessness. The first by Philip Larkin, the second by Walt Whitman. Two very different kinds of poet. Larkin, rather negative, tense, withdrawn, terse. Whitman, on the other hand, loving to expand like a flower, opening himself and his emotions to his reader. Larkin is quite short. The Whitman poem is quite long. You could drift off to sleep just listening to it, I always think, and just visualizing the things he talks about. I think it's a great way to go to sleep. Here we are. First of all, the poem How to Sleep by Philip Larkin. Child in the womb, or saint on a tomb, which way shall I lie to fall asleep? The keen moon stares from the back of the sky, the clouds are all home like driven sheep. Bright drops of time, 1 and 2 chime, I turn and lie straight with folded hands. Convent child, Pope, they chose this state, and their minds are white calm as sea-levelled sands. So my thoughts are, but sleep stays as far till I crouch on one side like a fetus again. Life for sleeping like death must be won without pride, with a nod from nature, with a lack of strain, and a loss of stature. The Sleepers. I'm going to read this, the Sleepers poem by Walt Whitman, living almost 100 years before Larkin. This is quite a poem. I wander all night in my vision, stepping with light feet, swiftly and noiselessly, stepping and stopping, bending with open eyes, over the shut eyes of sleepers, wandering and confused, lost to myself, ill-assorted, contradictory, pausing, gazing, bending and stopping. How solemn they look, there stretched and still, how quiet they breathe, the little children in their cradles, the wretched features of ennui, the white features of corpses, the livid faces of drunkards, the sick grey faces of onanists, the gashed bodies on battlefields, the insane in their strong-doored rooms, the sacred idiots, the newborn emerging from gates, and the dying emerging from gates. The night pervades them and enfolds them. The married couple sleep calmly in their bed, he with his palm on the hip of the wife, and she with her palm on the hip of the husband. The sisters sleep lovingly side by side in their bed, the men sleep lovingly side by side in theirs, and the mother sleeps with her little child carefully wrapped. The blind sleep and the deaf and dumb sleep. The prisoner sleeps well in the prison. The runaway son sleeps. The murderer that is to be hung next day, how does he sleep? And the murdered person, how does he sleep? The female that loves unrequited sleeps, and the male that loves unrequited sleeps. The head of the money-maker that plotted all day sleeps, and the enraged and treacherous dispositions all sleep. I stand in the dark with drooping eyes by the worst suffering and the most restless. I pass my hands soothingly to and fro, a few inches from them, the restless sink in their beds, they fitfully sleep. Now I pierce the darkness, new beings appear. The earth recedes from me into the night. I saw that it was beautiful, and I see that what is not the earth is beautiful. I go from bedside to bedside. I sleep close with the other sleepers, each in turn. I dream in my dream all the dreams of the other 1,000 dreamers, and I become the other dreamers. I am a dance. I play up there. The spit is whirling me fast. I am the ever-laughing. It is new moon and twilight. I see the hiding of douceur. I see nimble ghosts, whichever way I look, cache and cache again, deep in the ground, and sea, and where it is, neither ground nor sea. Well do they do their jobs, those journeymen divine. Only from me can they hide nothing, and would not if they could. I reckon I am their boss, and they make me a pet besides, and surround me, and lead me, and run ahead when I walk, to lift their cunning covers, to signify me with stretched arms, and resume the way. Onward we move, a gay gang of blackguards, with mirth shouting music, and wild flapping pennants of joy. I am the actor, the actress, the voter, the politician, the emigrant, and the exile, the criminal that stood in the box, he who has been famous, and he who shall be famous after today, the stammerer, the well-formed person, the wasted or feeble person. I am she who adorned herself and folded her hair expectantly. My truant lover has come, and it is dark. Double yourself, and receive me, darkness. Receive me and my lover too. He will not let me go without him. I roll myself upon you, as upon a bed. I resign myself to the dusk. He whom I call answers me, and takes the place of my lover. He rises with me silently from the bed. Darkness, you are gentler than my lover. His flesh was sweaty and panting. I feel the hot moisture, yet that he left me. My hands are spread forth. I pass them in all directions. I would sound up the shadowy shore to which you are journeying. Be careful, darkness. Already, what was it touched me? I thought my lover had gone, else darkness and he are one. I hear the heart beat, I follow, I fade away. I descend my western course, my sinews are flaccid. Perfume and youth course through me, and I am their wake. It is my face, yellow and wrinkled, instead of the old woman's. I sit low in a straw-bottomed chair, and carefully darn my grandson's stockings. It is I too, the sleepless widow looking out on the winter midnight. I see the sparkles of starshine on the icy and pallid earth. A shroud I see, and I am the shroud. I wrap a body and lie in the coffin. It is dark here under the ground. It is not evil or pain here. It is blank here, for reasons. It seems to me that everything in the light and air ought to be happy. Whoever is not in his coffin and the dark grave, let him know he has enough. I see a beautiful, gigantic swimmer, swimming naked through the eddies of the sea. His brown hair lies close and even to his head. He strikes out with courageous arms. He urges himself with his legs. I see his white body. I see his undaunted eyes. I hate the swift-running eddies that would dash him head foremost on the rocks. What are you doing, you ruffianly red-trickled waves? Will you kill the courageous giant? Will you kill him in the prime of his middle age? Steady and long he struggles. He is baffled, banged, bruised. He holds out while his strength holds out. The slapping eddies are spotted with his blood. They bear him away, they roll him, swing him, turn him. His beautiful body is borne in the circling eddies. It is continually bruised on rocks, swiftly, and aught of sight is borne, the brave corpse. I turn, but do not extricate myself, confused, a past reading, another, but with darkness yet. The beach is cut by the razory ice wind, the wreck guns sound, the tempest lulls, the moon comes floundering through the drifts. I look where the ship helplessly heads end on. I hear the burst as she strikes. I hear the howls of dismay. They grow fainter and fainter. I cannot aid with my ringing fingers. I can but rush to the surf and let it drench me and freeze upon me. I search with the crowd. Not one of the company is washed to us alive. In the morning I help pick up the dead and lay them in rows in a barn. Now of the older war days, the defeated Brooklyn, Washington stands inside the lines. He stands on the entrenched hills amid a crowd of officers. His face is cold and damp. He cannot repress the weeping drops. He lifts the glass perpetually to his eyes. The colour is blanched from his cheeks. He sees the slaughter of the Southern braves confided to him by their parents. The same at last, and at last, when peace is declared, he stands in the room of the old tavern. The well-beloved soldiers all pass through. The officers, speechless and slow, draw near in their turns. The chief encircles their necks with his arm and kisses them on the cheek. He kisses lightly the wet cheeks, one after another. He shakes hands and bids goodbye to the army. Now, what my mother told me one day as we sat at dinner together, of when she was a nearly grown girl living home with her parents on the old homestead. A red squaw came one breakfast time to the old homestead. On her back she carried a bundle of rushes for rush-bottoming chairs. Her hair, straight, shiny, coarse, black, profuse, half enveloped her face. Her step was free and elastic, and her voice sounded exquisitely as she spoke. My mother looked in delight and amazement at the stranger. She looked at the freshness of her tall-born face and full and pliant limbs. The more she looked upon her, she loved her. Never before had she seen such a wonderful beauty and purity. She made her sit on a bench by the jamb of the fireplace. She cooked food for her. She had no work to give her, but she gave her remembrance and fondness. The red squaw stayed all afternoon, and toward the middle of the afternoon she went away. Oh, my mother was loath to have her go away. All the week she thought of her. She watched for her many a month. She remembered her many a winter and many a summer. But the red squaw never came, nor was heard of there again. A show of the summer softness, a contact of something unseen, an armour of the light and air. I am jealous and overwhelmed with friendliness, and I will go gallivant with the light and air myself. O love and summer, you are in the dreams and in me. Autumn and winter are in the dreams. The farmer goes with his thrift, the droves and crops increase, the barns are well filled. Elements merge in the night, ships make tacks in the dreams. The sailor sails, the exile returns home. The fugitive returns unharmed, the immigrant is back beyond months and years. The poor Irishman lives in the simple house of his childhood, with the well-known neighbours and faces. They warmly welcome him. He is barefoot again, he forgets he is well off. The Dutchman voyages home, and the Scotchman and Welshman voyage home, and the native of the Mediterranean voyages home. To every port of England, France, Spain, enter well-filled ships. The Swiss puts it towards his hills. The Prussian goes his way, the Hungarian his way, and the Pole his way. The Swede returns, and the Dane and Norwegian return. The homeward bound and the outward bound, the beautiful lost swimmer, the ennui, the onanist, the female that loves unrequited, the money-maker, the actor and actress, those through with their parts and those waiting to commence, the affectionate boy, the husband and wife, the voter, the nominee that is chosen, and the nominee that has failed, the great already known and the great any time after today, the stammerer, the sick, the perfect formed, the homely, the criminal that stood in the box, the judge that sat and sentenced him, the fluent lawyers, the jury, the audience, the laughter and weeper, the dancer, the midnight widow, the red score, the consumptive, the erispolite, the idiot, he that is wronged, the antipodes, and everyone between this and them in the dark. I swear they are averaged now. And one is no better than the other. The night and sleep have likened them and restored them. I swear they are all beautiful. Everyone that sleeps is beautiful. Everything in the dim light is beautiful. The wildest and bloodiest is over, and all is peace. Peace is always beautiful. The myth of heaven indicates peace and night. The myth of heaven indicates the soul. The soul is always beautiful. It appears more or it appears less. It comes or it lags behind. It comes from its embowered garden and looks pleasantly on itself and encloses the world, perfect and clean, the genitals previously jetting, and perfect and clean, the womb cohering, the head well grown, proportioned and plumb, and the bowels and joints proportioned and plumb. The soul is always beautiful. The universe is duly in order. Everything is in its place. What has arrived is in its place, and what waits shall be in its place. The twisted skull waits. The watery or rotten blood waits. The child of the glutton, a venerally waits long, and the child, the drunkard, waits long, and the drunkard himself waits long. The sleepers that lived and died wait. The far advanced are to go on in their turns, and the far behind are to come on in their turns. The diverse shall be no less diverse, but they shall flow and unite. They unite now. The sleepers are very beautiful as they lie unclothed. They flow hand in hand over the whole earth, from east to west, as they lie unclothed. The Asiatic and African are hand in hand. The European and American are hand in hand. learned and unlearned, a hand in hand, and male and female, a hand in hand. The bare arm of the girl crosses the bare breast of her lover. They press close without lust, his lips press her neck. The father holds his grown and ungrown son in his arms with measureless love, and the son holds the father in his arms with measureless love. The white hair of the mother shines on the white wrist of the daughter. The breath of the boy goes with the breath of the man. Friend is enarmed by friend. The scholar kisses the teacher, and the teacher wronged, made right. The call of the slave is one of the master's call, and the master salutes the slave. The felon steps forth from the prison. The insane becomes sane. The suffering of sick persons is relieved. The sweatings and fevers stop. The throat that was unsound is sound. The lungs of the consumptive are resumed. The poor, distressed head is free. The joints of the rheumatic move as smoothly as ever, and smoother than ever. Stiflings and passages open. The paralyzed become supple. The swelled and convulsed and congested awake to themselves in condition. They pass the invigoration of the night and the chemistry of the night and awake. I too pass from the night. I stale a while away, O night, but I return to you again and love you. Why should I be afraid to trust myself to you? I am not afraid. I have been well brought forward by you. I love the rich running day, but I do not desert her in whom I lay so long. I know not how I came of you, and I know not where I go with you, but I know I came well and shall go well. I will stop only a time with the night, and rise betimes. I will duly pass the day, O my mother, and duly return to you. There we have it. Two wonderful poems in their own way. Philip Larkin in his shortish way, and Walt Whitman in his great outpouring of reflections about sleep, its nature and its participants. I wish you a good sleep now. Thank you for listening.